Welcome to Obscure Depths. Today we have Slade and
Slade.
Cake.
Tomato. Slade works.
Okay. Our
No
first
comment.
team is Tampa Bay at Minnesota. Who will win?
Okay, Tampa Bay is 6.5-point dogs on the road. Minnesota's a little bit beat up. Ponder and Peterson are a little beat up, so I think I'm going to take those points. I know it's a road game, and Tampa's not used to playing in a dome setting like that. It should be a crazy setting, but I think when it all settles down, Tampa's got a pretty good defense, and this is going to be a lot closer. I think Minnesota will still pull out the win, but I think Tampa will hang within 6.5 points. What do you think, Slade?
I actually am going to pick Tampa Bay to win straight up for a couple of reasons. Number one, Josh Freeman's been looking really good the last couple games, putting up some big numbers.
Well, he played the Saints.
Well, I guess everybody does light up the Saints. But on the flip side, Ponder has been on a downward spiral of suck as of late. The last two games have been toilet. The only thing keeping them in it has been special teams, which has been putting up points, and their defense, which has been somewhat stout in keeping the opposing team from putting up too many. But with Freeman on the way up and Ponder on the way down, I'm going to pick Tampa Bay straight up to win.
Next is Oakland at Kansas. Who will win, Josh?
Well, big Raiders fan. You all know that. But I know better. Raiders are a 1.5-point dog in this game. I know better than that. I think Kansas City's going to beat them. They're both pretty bad, and Brady Quinn's the Kansas City quarterback. But yeah, Kansas City's going to take this game at home. I would love to see the Raiders win, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Wrong again, Cakes. Wrong again. Brady Quinn. Enough said. Carson Palmer is finally starting to get some chemistry with his receivers. You still got that beast of a running back. Kansas City will lose flat out, period.
I agree with all that, but yeah.
You're letting your bias get in your way.
Win-win, I guess.
You're letting your favorite team get in the way.
Yep.
San Diego against Cleveland. Who will win?
San Diego at Cleveland. San Diego is 3.5-point favorites on the road at Cleveland. I like me some Cleveland Browns in this game. San Diego, they're 3-3. They just, when they're supposed to win, they don't. Cleveland's a hungry young team. They've been doing some good things. It could be cold, and those Chargers don't like cold weather. Let's go. I'll take Cleveland on the points, definitely.
San Diego is going to light Cleveland up. Ryan Matthews, injury-free, 100%.
For now.
Going to probably get 2, maybe 3 touchdowns. Rivers going to throw for 1 to 2. I'm going to guess it's going to be San Diego 35, Cleveland 17.
Next, Washington against Pittsburgh. Who will win?
Washington is 5.5-point dogs at Pittsburgh. I really don't know. That's a lot. That seems like a lot of points, but I think Pittsburgh will take this game at home. I think Washington, they're still young. This could be a competitive game, but I see Pittsburgh pulling ahead late.
Pittsburgh is one of the biggest underperforming teams of the year. High expectations going into the season. Been nothing but a big turd fart the entire year. Barely pulling out the few wins that they do have. On the other hand, Washington, exciting to watch. New young quarterback, unpredictable. Pittsburgh's defense, old, slow. Yeah, they're good at reading the offense and they can get set up well, but I just don't think they're going to be able to contain RG3. Washington's going to win straight up.
Next up, New Orleans against Denver. Who will win?
This is the Sunday night game. Saints are 6.5-point favorites on the road. I see this game being a shootout. We're talking 38-35. With that being said, it's going to be closer than 6.5 points. So I'm going to take the Saints and the points. I'll take Drew Brees and 6.5 points any day. I know they're playing at Denver, and Manning's going to shred that Saints defense. But yeah, it's going to be closer than a touchdown.
I agree. I think it's going to be high scoring as well, which, when it does get into that high scoring games, it's really hard to pick a spread. So this is kind of a dangerous one to go with. If you're going to be betting on a bunch of games this week, I would stay away from this one just because of the scoreability factor. I am going to stick with the spread as well.
Next up, Carolina against Chicago. Who will win?
This seems like a little bit of a trap game.
Ooh, yeah.
Carolina is 7.5-point dogs on the road. Chicago did not look very sharp against a very poor Detroit defense last week. So, that being said, I'm still going to take the Bears. I just have no confidence in Cam Newton, especially on the road, especially against a stout defense like Chicago. So I'm going to take the Bears minus 7.5. I'm not crazy about it, but I'm going to do it.
I'm also going to go with the Bears. My prediction on this one is that the Bears defense will score more points than the Bears offense.
Next up, Seattle against Detroit. Who will win?
This could end up being maybe the best game of the weekend. I think it could be a really good game. Russell Wilson might look like an all-pro against this bad defense. I think it's going to be a little bit of a shootout, high scoring. If you want to bet the over/under, definitely take the over. What do we got here though? Detroit is 1.5 point favorites at home. So I think that's a slam dunk. I think they'll win. I think it'll be a field goal type of game. So I'll definitely take Detroit minus 1.5.
This is sports, Josh. Not.
I thought going into this year that Detroit was going to be a lot scarier than they were. I'm a Vikings fan, so I was not looking forward to the trifecta of a refreshing, awesome Detroit team, a really good Bears team, and an unstoppable Green Bay Packers team. Fortunately, the Packers have turned out to have some chinks in their armor. Detroit, just total crap, and the real scary monster in the NFC North this year has been the Bears. So with Detroit just underperforming as they have all year, I'm going to pick Seattle to win by 7 points.
Ooh.
Next up, Jacksonville against Green Bay. Who will win, guys?
So whoever set the line on this forgot that maybe this is an NFL game. Jacksonville, 12.5-point dogs. I know it's a road game, but 12.5 points in the NFL, I'll take that all day long. I know Maurice Jones-Drew is hurt, but I'll take the 12.5 points. I just think they're going to hang. Rashard Jennings or whatever his name is not that bad a running back, and the Green Bay's defense is not super strong. So I think it's going to be. I think it might be kind of a low-scoring game, but I see it being like 24-17 or something like that, not 12.5 points.
While it is true that Rashad Jennings is not that bad of a running back, it is true that Blaine Gabbert is a horrible quarterback. I'm talking picks, fumbles, it's all going to happen. Aaron Rodgers has really lit it up lately as well. I'm going to go Green Bay 35, Jacksonville 6.
Woo! Okay. I'll take those points too. Miami at the Jets.
Next up, Miami at the Jets. Who will win, guys?
Miami, 2.5-point dogs on the road. The Jets don't do a lot of great things offensively. They've been leaning on their running game lately, and I think that's why Miami is going to win this game. Miami's run defense is very, very good. Reggie Bush is in a little bit of a resurgence, so I think I'll take Miami plus 2.5, definitely.
I really don't like this matchup at all from a guessing standpoint. Both teams are either feast or famine. Either they do really, really well or they do really, really poorly. So it just depends on who shows up for this game. I'm going to pick Miami by 4.
Okay, next up, Atlanta against Philadelphia. Who will win, guys?
Atlanta has a little bit of an easy schedule so far, but Philly just likes to turn the ball over. That's all there is to it. And I know Philly's the home team in this game, but anytime Atlanta's an underdog this year, I am all over that. They're just a 2.5-point dog, but I'll take that. I'm going to make that my lock of the week. I think Atlanta's going to go in there and smoke them. 10 points even.
I agree. Philadelphia's offensive line has just gotten worse and worse all year. Every Philly game that I've watched this season is just basically a pummeling of Michael Vick. And he's not the most durable quarterback in the NFL by any means. Not only is Atlanta going to win, I'm going to predict a 3 to 7 game injury for Michael Vick.
That's the second Michael Vick injury predicted on this show this year.
Next up, New England against the St. Louis.
New England 7.5-point favorites on the road. I am gonna take St. Louis all day long at home. I know New England's been playing pretty good. They struggled a little bit last week against the Jets at home, which concerns me a little bit. We have a Tom Brady fan in the room apparently. But I think New England's going to win this game, but I think it's going to be closer than 7.5 points. Probably touchdown, 4 points. So I like St. Louis to hang within 7.5.
I'm going to agree with Cakes. St. Louis, as far as the record goes, doesn't have the greatest record, but they have been hanging in there most games this year when they have lost. They're not letting anybody just absolutely destroy them. I think New England's going to win by a field goal, and that's going to be how that game ends.
Next up, Indianapolis against Tennessee. Go in, guys.
Tennessee, home team in this one. Colts are 3.5 point dogs on the road. So anytime Andrew Luck's getting that many points, I think I'm going to go with it. I know it's only 3.5, and Tennessee has put up some fight this year, but I like Andrew Luck. I think he's taken giant steps forward so far this year, and they're gonna go in there and beat Tennessee definitely.
Yeah, I agree. I think Tennessee is going to lose this game. They just don't have anything that excites me or gives me any inkling as to why they would win this game. There's just nothing explosive on offense or on the defensive side of the ball. Whereas Indianapolis, they do have their shining moments. When Andrew Luck decides to step up, they can do really well. The defense has actually surprised me with Indy this year too. They're not going to hold you to 6 points in a game, but they're not going to let you rout them either. So I'm going to go with Indy on this one.
Next up, New York Giants against the Dallas Cowboys.
Dallas, just a 0.5 point favorite. I don't even know why they bother. 0.5 point favorite at home in this game. I am taking the Giants all day long. I would take the Giants if it was -6 points in this game. I think the Giants are going to walk in there and just punch Dallas right in the mouth. They're going to avenge their earlier loss this year. Romo is going to be Mr. Mistako, I think, and it could be ugly. I don't think it is just because it's a division game and you got that kind of hate factor there, but I think the Giants are going to walk in there and punch them in the mouth.
Absolutely. Week 1, it was said that was the best performance of Tony Romo's career. The problem with that is you can't have the best performance of your career when you play a team twice. He is not going to do as well. It's just not in his nature. Giants by 14 is going to be my guess on this one. They're just too big, too mean, too tough, too athletic, too talented. Eli Manning, for being as goofy looking as he is deceptively talented, and it's going to be ugly.
Will that be your lock of the week since they're only 0.5 point favorites?
Lock of the week.
Yeah, definitely.
Ka-ching.
Next up, San Francisco against Arizona. Last one. Who will win, guys?
Monday night game. San Fran 7.5 point favorites on the road. The Arizona defense has had its ups and downs, but I think they're going to hang in this game. San Fran has proven to be very, very mortal over these last 3 or 4 weeks. And I think they'll probably win this game, but it's going to be kind of another boring, 19-17 type of game. Maybe a defensive touchdown might be the most exciting play. So I think it's going to be a close game, but I think San Fran will probably pull it out. But I'll take Arizona plus 7.5 all day long.
I'm actually going to go with San Francisco on the points. I think if Kevin Cobb was back on the team, it would be an entirely different story. With Kevin Cobb on the Arizona Cardinals, they were rocking it down. And as soon as he went out, that was the end of it all for Arizona. And without him being back yet, San Fran's just going to have their way with that team.
Okay, thank you for Slade for joining us. Thanks for hosting, Mr. Henry. This has been Obscure Depths. We're a division of Metal Freaker Productions. You can find us on Facebook at METALFRAKER. That's Metal Freaker Productions. Thank you and have a good night.